secrecy does not necessarily imply conspiracy.
Conflict brings progress, but controlled conflict brings controlled progress.
The secret of mind control is to change people outside of their awareness.
A lot of it has to do with our educational systems, where we've been dumbing our kids down.
What really fascinates me is the complete blackout in the American press.
Are either of these two really going to do what we need them to do to straighten out our country?
These men are striving to create a world superstate. From behind the scenes, they will be the ones who will rule.
The Council of the Americas has been crucial in bringing us to this moment. And I know that we can count on your wisdom and your commitment in completing the great work that lies ahead.
The system tries to drive us into competition against one another. Somebody lives on the other side of the boundary.
In the beginning, we were made to believe, and we were sold on the idea that we're separate from each other. No boundaries. This is how we're doing it. For me, is probably the craziest thing ever. I mean, you have these people that are dressing up like God knows what, getting reasonably,
I like Halloween,
responsibly drunk and doing crazy things.
It gives everybody an excuse to party, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, and party like zombies or
Crazy
vampires. People. Yeah, what are you going to be for Halloween, Craig?
I don't know. I don't have any plans as of yet. I was gonna be Fred Flintstone, I think, but
now you're just gonna default.
I don't know. I don't really want to go buy a costume and then not have anywhere to go and just be sitting around my house in a Fred Flintstone costume.
Yeah, I'll invite you over, dude. You can come hang out with me.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You should just default as Barney Rubble.
Exactly.
Don't even buy the costume. Just go like you are now, Barney Rubble. No problem.
Perfect. I'll take that.
People should call in and give us some original costumes that they've been thinking of.
Yeah, if anybody wants to talk to us, play some music, anybody wants to talk about anything.
Just remember, you're listening on 1120 a.m. or if you're down the Cape, 1390 a.m. But most of you, I think, are listening on moneymattersradio.net.
Yeah, online.
Yeah, online. We're going to have some callers.
Looks like we had a call now.
Yeah, just soon here. Yeah, you know what I was interested in talking about tonight a little bit? The Federal Reserve System, which most people would think is a pretty dry topic, but some information that I have might change your mind. Let's see. We have a caller there?
Yeah, we got some costume ideas on line one here.
Already? Nice. Let's hear those costume ideas. Who do we have on the air?
Hello?
Andrea from Natick.
Andrea from Natick. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Lovely Friday night here. A little tired from the full moon last night.
Well... Hold on, I have to shut my radio off.
Yeah, turn your radio down.
Yes, I'm going to do that right now.
Just remember, folks.
I call Scotty's show. I'm a real big fan of Scotty, the show, and I'm a fan of your show. And I just want to give you some ideas.
What do you got for us?
How about a laundry basket?
A laundry basket?
Yeah, cut the hole out of a bottom of a laundry basket and stuff it with clothes and hang it from your hair and clothes, and that's one idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
How's that sound?
If you pull it off well, I mean, people might think you have some dirty laundry that you're trying to air.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah. People be throwing trash at you all night, though, maybe.
So Andrea, that was a great idea. I appreciate your call.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye
now.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, you could be a laundry basket, Chaz.
I could. You know what? I don't think I'd need to cut a hole in a basket. I'd just pretty much wear what I'm wearing. And then if you could actually be the washer and dryer, That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, and then
have like a little spin cycle on, on your chest or something.
Yeah, a little spin cycle on your in your brain.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But what I wanted to talk about was the Federal Reserve System. Craig, do you know much about the Federal Reserve System?
I know that they make our money.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Does the government regulate the Federal Reserve System?
I would hope so.
You'd hope so, right? What if I told you the answer was no?
I would think that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, wouldn't that not make any sense? If you were a government, wouldn't you want to print your own money?
I would think that, as a country, we'd want to print our own money and have control over stuff like that.
Well, let me tell you and be the first to tell you on the air here that we actually don't control our money. It's actually in the hands of private investment groups. The Federal Reserve was put into place in 1913 by Mr. Woodrow Wilson, great president. But basically what happened was, it's a pretty interesting story. The Great Depression, in a nutshell, was a huge group of rich, powerful men. Well, small group, but huge amounts of money. And they pulled their money out of the banks all at once. And then everyone had trouble getting loans and, got nervous, so they went to go take their money out of the bank that they thought was nice and safe. And they realized that that money wasn't really in there. The banks didn't have that money to give them all at once. So everyone went, to the crapper. No food, no shelter. As a matter of fact, during the Great Depression, to say it lightly, during the Great Depression, there was actually more food production than any year prior, and they actually wasted all of it because there was no profit, which is interesting. I mean, what do you think of that, dude?
That's very interesting. I mean, I don't know much about how the government works and how the money goes around, but if our own government doesn't control our money, then I don't think that would help us out very much, right?
Yeah, you're right. We're not in a good place. What happened was, after these gentlemen took a huge lump sum out of the American economic system, no one can get their loans, no one could take their money out, everyone went poor. These individuals who now had their money, what they did was they pretty much bought up all the property for pennies on the dollar, along with quite a few institutions. One of them being the governmental institution, lots of influence on politics, and they got Woodrow Wilson, the great hero who took us out of the Depression. They got Woodrow Wilson to sign this Federal Reserve Act, and what happened was, after the Federal Reserve Act was signed, America moved into what's called centralized banking. Centralized banking is what took over Europe. It creates expansion, and the way centralized banking works is that if you're a bank and you want to give a loan of $10,000, then you have to give a deposit to the Federal Reserve for $1,111.12. That is, 1/9 of the loan you're trying to give. Now, the interesting thing is, if the Federal Reserve has this $1,111.12, and the bank is actually loaning out $10,000, then where is that extra $9,000 blah 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 coming from? Well, the answer is it doesn't exist. So what I'm basically trying to tell you is the way our system works is it's based on debt, not value. So our money actually equals debt to these people that are just, they're pretty much just business people that have influenced the government. Do we have a caller?
Yeah, we actually have a caller. Mike from Boston wants to ask a question about a Federal Reserve note, actually.
Oh, let's hear it.
Mike, you there?
Yes.
What's your question?
Well, my question is, the Federal Reserve note is supposed to represent gold in the Federal Reserve, correct?
Well, it's actually, it used to represent gold. See, the Federal Reserve has gold, but the Federal Reserve's gold is actually what the banks have given to it. So if you, Mike, try to take your dollar to the Federal Reserve and say, I'd like my $1 worth of gold, they'll laugh in your face.
That.
They'll laugh in your face.
Yeah, they would.
They would, because before the Federal Reserve was signed, that's how banks worked. They would loan out what was in their deposits. But now, because of actually something that used to be a sin, and it actually used to be illegal before Europe legalized it and regulated it, something called usury, which is essentially making money off having money. So what's going on now is your dollar used to be valuable, and now it's actually a note of debt.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus has something to do with it, I think. I think a little myth is involved here. What do you think of that, Mike?
I think that's crazy, because I look at my bills in my pocket and they say Federal Reserve note, and it's like it's a piece of paper, and it's supposed to represent this value, and it gives everybody this illusion that they have value,
Yep.
but it's really a piece of paper.
That's a perfect word, Mike. Illusion. It really is an illusion. Let me give you like a chilling little overview. When you sign for a loan, right? Have you ever taken a loan or financed, Mike?
Yes, I have.
Well, when you sign for a loan to a bank, they make sure your credit's good, which means they make sure that they haven't already foreclosed a bunch of stuff, or you haven't already failed to pay, because they don't want people that can't pay, because their hopes is to eventually own you in such a way. But when you sign for a loan, what you're doing is you're trading with this banker. You're trading your signature and the promise of all your assets if you fail to pay. You're trading that for essentially created money, IOUs.
Yeah.
These Federal Reserve notes are not worth anything. So what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I'll use these Federal Reserve notes because the government has enforced the use of these notes, so everyone in society uses them, and they have to use them. So you say, I'll trade you these notes you have for essentially my promise that I'll pay you back those notes after I work hard and create something out of them. Okay, now the loan itself is called principal, and then on the principal, their gains, you accrue interest.
Interest, yeah.
Now the interesting thing is here, not to drive a pun, but what's going on is each individual person has their interest from a loan and their principal. And since they have to pay off the interest, they have to try to use their principal loan and make money off of people like me or guys like Craig. So Mike has his loan. He's got to pay that interest off. He uses his loan to create, let's say, a car dealing business. And then what he does is he takes money from Craig, and then he can pay off the interest. But who does Craig take money from to pay off his interest? The way it works is the whole society as one is receiving principal from the Federal Reserve. But the society owes interest on what they receive as principal. Unfortunately, since our economic system is a closed system, we can't pay that interest back ever. So what do? We borrow money from the Federal Reserve to pay off some of the interest. But Mike, you're a smart guy. Tell me what that sounds like to you.
Sounds like just bound for debt.
Yeah, exactly. We're bound for debt. And if you look at these smaller nations around the world, third world countries.
I heard Japan has no national debt.
Well, Japan, are they exporting? Is China exporting? They are. They're exporting a lot. And guess who's importing everything?
We are.
We are. We're not exporting anything.
And we're just paying money, and they put up these big malls, and everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go spend my money.
Yep.
And then they got to go and work to make more money and then give it back, and it just keeps all the money in circulation. They don't want you to keep that money for yourself, it seems.
They don't.
On that note, I want to tell you something else.
Let's hear it, Mike.
Income tax really bothers me.
Let's hear what you know about the income tax.
Income tax. I don't know much, but this is what I know. I know that I work for 100% of my money. Every single dollar is hard-earned for me. But at the end of the week, I only get 67% of those dollars back. I'm a single guy, and I have little expenses. So they take out like 33%. So if I make $1,000, I'm only getting 67% of $1,000. But I worked for 100% of it. And they didn't even ask me. They just took it. And if they don't, what happens? Do I go to jail?
Yeah, you know what? What happened is, are you still with me, Mike?
Yeah.
What happens is, since the policing state, and what I mean by police state, I mean the individuals who are wearing the badges and the individuals who are trained by the government to carry out their policy, the police state will come to you and consider you a criminal. Now, if only they realized, and this is something that I'm going to tell you that really bugs me. Every law that's passed, okay, every act that's passed in Congress needs ratification by a certain majority of states. Do you know, Michael, that in history books you can read very clearly that the income tax law wasn't fully ratified by the correct amount of states, which means it's actually what we call an illegal law. Which is very interesting, because that means that they're taking your 33%, blah, blah, blah. They're literally taking it in exchange for nothing. It's just thievery, and it's our government.
And it's just, it just frustrates me, because I work hard for my money.
It sounds like you do.
I
think everybody does. Everybody works hard.
Yeah, everybody works hard, but we actually have another caller on the line. We're going to bring him in with you, Mike,
yeah,
okay?
Let's
this is Jim from Franklin. Jim, you there?
Jim's here. You hear me?
Yes, Jim, I can hear you good.
Excellent, guys. I just had a comment about income taxes. The tax is actually set up by the government. It's what's called the transfer fund. So ultimately, while it doesn't seem fair, you're working for your money, you want all that money. A lot of it, ideally, would go back to you in ways of forms of welfare and other different systems set up by the government to go to the less fortunate, to go to you when you might need a hand. So in theory, the way it's set up, it's supposed to be to help the greater good.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea of it. But I feel like this time it's not helping me, and I'm not sure that it ever will. And they're saying that Social Security, by the time I'm of age to claim it, that it won't exist anymore. And that's that kind of bothers me as well.
Absolutely. I'm not one to, advocate our government for, being pristine and being absolutely perfect at all. But I'm saying, in theory, the way these are set up, they're set up with this intention. And, that gets skewed by the people in office, people in government. And, yes, the government, when it comes down to it, control the income tax. They're separate from the Federal Reserve, as we said, was a separate entity altogether, which controls the money flow. And they control the money flow based on circulation, how much money is out there, and also the value of the money. So they're the ones dealing with trying to keep inflation at a minimum.
Yeah, of course. But of course, as you know, they're approving more and more credit as they're raising interest just 2 months ago. And the funny thing is, Jim, is it?
Yes, Jim.
The funny thing is, if you read various history books, probably more some history books that tend to take the position of the Indian in this country, the position of the worker, the position of the African American, all the positions of the people that literally didn't have a say in crafting how we live today. But basically, you have this idea of what's called reform. I mean, you have Roosevelt creating what was called the New Deal, and if you look back, during the reform era, there was all the support for it because basically what does reform promise? It promises change. But what we see in history, if we look back from this point, is that their reform laws were literally just ways to make lower classes a little more comfortable and move them into a middle class so that revolution really couldn't happen. And in this country we live in now, there's such when someone gets their house foreclosed because of these different situations, I mean, Jim, do you run to their aid?
No. Well, when it comes down to it, our system is set up so that it does help them. And, I mean, while right now foreclosures are at record numbers, and because mostly due to these adjustable rate mortgages, they just started spiking up. People's house payments monthly started doubling in some cases, and people just can't afford that.
Yeah.
So people are losing that left and right, but the government now is becoming more and more stringent on being able to qualify for loans, being able to qualify for mortgages, and they're making it stricter and stricter. And in fact, actually recently they approved, so I don't know the exact number, but some odd number of $1 billion to go back to helping people refinance who have adjustable rate mortgages to help prevent them from going that. Because when it comes down to it, individual home ownership is one of the biggest indicators of our economy. So when that starts going south, our economy goes south.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you. I totally agree.
Well, another thing about as far as loans and mortgages, and I know I work in the automotive industry, they make it very easy for you to get a loan, regardless of your credentials. For the most part, they'll give you a shot and they'll say, here's your loan. It's like, it seems like banks are willing to just give you their money.
They send you credit pre-approved checks.
Yeah, they do. It's like $5,000 here. You need some extra cash, take it, pay us back later. It's like they want you to borrow the money, so you have to pay them back. And if you don't pay them back, they take everything you have.
Mike, it's like I said, they want this system to accelerate because that represents basically industry. I mean, everyone thinks industry is a good thing because if you own a business, you're making money for your kids and your family. That sounds wonderful, and I love that. But what I do not like is how the basic system, you will never be able to catch up with that interest. Jim, if we never catch up with this interest, does this mean someday this banking structure is going to foreclose on the whole mass?
I think in general, we are sort of setting ourselves up for failure as far as ultimately. I mean, our society, once again, we're getting back to, in theory, how things were supposed to be created, but this is a capitalist society. So we want to have people that, that's the American dream. We want people to come here, be able to get a cheap loan, despite having no credentials or no way of qualifying for your loan. So people can come in here with very little to qualify, very little, like when they used to do no-doc loans, which basically you didn't have to prove your income to get a mortgage. Those are completely, you can't get those anymore. But, 4 years ago, with the housing market, with the houses were increasing in value so quickly, everything was appreciating, they were happily willing to do that. But now we're just seeing more and more, everything is, people aren't qualifying, people are, foreclosing, and everything's going south, that it looks like sometime in the future we could, unless we do something now, something that we could all find ourselves too much in debt to go on.
And this debt is becoming so strong. And I guess, I don't know how much money they print or how frequently they print it.
Oh,
but,
let me tell you something. 5% of money is printed. The other 95 is digital. In imaginary. Yep.
So what I'm thinking is that money is not really there, then we're always going to owe money. I don't know.
I agree with you, though.
It's making me crazy
point.
inside thinking about it. Our value of our dollar is decreasing dramatically.
They're trying to ruin
terrible.
it. Craig, what do you think?
I think we need to move on from this topic. Gerald,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for calling in, and we'll talk to you later. All right, pal?
Good topic.
I actually have a really good song I want to play. It's called "If It Wasn't for the Money." This is a band called Tea Leaf Green. I've seen them live. Enjoy this little snip right here.
I'd be on the train already. If it wasn't for your loving, I'd be out there on the street. And if I took my chances, I'm sure I'd keep it steady. Steady, friend, until the end. You keep me on my feet. By manuals, by articles and books. And nothing there is magical, it's just as it looks. And they say the truth's statistical, but we all know they lie. So let us lie together beneath the sky. Take me by the hand. Show me where I'm going. Show me who I am. Is all I need is a drop of water. I'm a seed born on the wind. I was once a flower and I'll be a flower again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Boundaries Radio Show with Craig and Charles. A completely open forum, directed only through the subtle influence of music. That was a great song, man.
Hope you all enjoyed that song. I like that. That's a personal favorite of mine.
Yeah, that's a good song. What a discussion we just had with a few individuals.
Yeah, a lot of heated discussion there about that. It's good participation. I like that.
You know what? I don't know if each individual in this government or society itself knows all the checks and balances or knows all the details of how the system runs, but I know we all have some passion, dude. We all have passion to discuss it and debate it, and that's what the show's all about.
That's exactly what our show's all about.
I had another topic I wanted to bring up.
Hit me with
What
it.
do you think, Craig? And I'm just going to ask you. I want to hear your opinion. I want you to rant on this. What do you think about that beautiful game last night that we were watching? Okay, it was so entertaining. Of course, they had to make it a little later for those people on the West Coast, okay?
Talking about the World Series.
Yeah, I'm talking about the World Series. What do you think about the private interview during the game with the CEO of Taco Bell?
Well, did you know what the whole premise behind the Taco Bell
they're
thing was?
They're going to give a free, dirty, cloned meat, nasty clog your colon taco to everyone in America if a beautiful athlete who's doing so much as a role model for the kids, if he steals a base.
Yeah, they gave away a free taco. I guess they mentioned, I guess, if you go in between, like a certain time on like Tuesday or something, they'll give you a taco. I think it's bad marketing. First off,
okay.
I don't know if that's it could bring in business, but
Well, people come in for the free taco, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they'll buy something else. I guess that's their point. But what is he? Why is it going to be on baseball? What does that have to do with anything?
Listen, man.
Just because it's the World Series, they feel like they have to give away stuff. Same thing. Jordan's Furniture said that if early on, like a couple months ago, they said if the Red Sox won the World Series, that if you bought a certain amount of furniture between a certain amount of time, you'd get it for free.
Yep.
And I mean, that's cool, I guess, but why?
My question is, man, I mean, at least Jordan's Furniture commercial comes on during the commercials. You think that these news reporters said, oh, hey, guess what? We heard the CEO of Taco Bell is up in the stands. Oh, yeah, we should really interview him. It was so obviously a connection between big commercial business and the actual media that's supposed to be covering a game. Yeah, that just bothers me, man. It just really does. But, hey, if you're going to give me a free taco, I really guess I can't
Thanks
complain.
A lot.
Even
I
if it's going
appreciate
to kill me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too much. It's way too much, and they're going overboard. I understand it's the World Series, but
are you gonna go get the taco that you're due?
No, absolutely not.
No.
See, I bet they're planning on that people are just gonna say, I don't want your taco, whatever. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous, but we can talk about the Red Sox. They're doing well. They won first 2 games of the World Series. They're traveling to Colorado right now. Playing 2 games this weekend. If they win them both, that's the series right there, folks.
Let me tell you something, man. I don't care what they do in Colorado, but our stands last night and the night before, there's such a ferocious energy of the Red Sox nation. I don't know how
brutal.
Any pitcher could pitch in that,
No, the first night I watched the game, this kid that was pitching, I forget his name. He looked like he was 12. He was maybe 25 or so, but once the Red Sox got to him, the fans were all over him, chanting his name. If I was in that position, you're out in the middle of an empty field with 30-something thousand people chanting your name, like, razzing you pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's got to be the most overwhelming situation. I couldn't even put myself in that.
Tell me about it. I mean, we're talking to an audience that we can't even see or know exists, and I get butterflies. It's a good butterflies, but I'm getting it. I got a news report here from Associated Press, and the headline is, much of United States could see a water shortage.
What do you mean by a water shortage? Like there's not enough water or what?
Well, let me see here. An epic drought in Georgia threatens the water supply for millions of Americans. Florida doesn't have nearly enough water for its expected population booms. The Great Lakes are shrinking. Upstate New York's reservoirs have dropped to record lows. And in the West, the Sierra Nevada snowpack is melting faster each year.
So is this what they're calling global warming?
I mean, global warming is one thing. I think what this is talking about is essentially our level of waste, and our level of consumption. I mean, as we all know, America uses like 80% of the world's resources now. 80% of the people are not here in America. So, I mean...
Yeah, we're using up all the resources, and we're not getting anything back. We're going to be running out of everything real soon. And
yeah. It says here that the government is failing to create a decent water plan. I saw some conspiracy stuff about water wars essentially being like the first situation in America that we're all going to have to basically have our lives totally change because, I mean, you get your water right now so easily. You go to the store.
It comes from the tap. You go, you go buy bottles of water or whatever.
Yeah. But what happens when... What happens when your next-door neighbor has a bunch of water and you realize that the stores... I mean, that sounds kind of crazy. You think that'll ever happen?
I don't know. I guess it's possible. I mean, you can always make water, I guess, but with there's all this technology where they can just make it out of you can make it out of air, of course.
Yeah, you can actually make car engines that give off pure water as their exhaust. Hint, hint.
Yeah, instead none of this hybrid stuff. Why don't we have water-run cars or hydrogen-run cars or whatever, oxygen, all that stuff. And they don't want us to have it because they're not going to make the money that they're making off of it now.
Yeah, the war will be a big waste, I guess, if we can't make a bunch of money off this oil. It's getting kind of cold, man.
Yeah, it is. It's getting real cold out.
Yeah, it
was like, 80 last week, and it's been 30s very consistently every day that I've come into work this week. It was very cold.
I think that 80s weather we had was like it wasn't supposed to happen because if you kept increasing the chill each day instead of having those 80-degree days, then we'd be to where we are today, pretty much perfectly.
Yep, definitely.
It's helping California though.
Yeah, they need a lot of help out there, huh?
I mean,
everything I've seen about that has just been brutal. Like everything is just losing
Yeah.
millions and millions of acres and of it just gone.
Wow.
It's baffling that that can even happen. Imagine something like that happening here.
Ugh, I couldn't imagine that.
You
I
know?
mean, that'd be like the Cape just going up.
Just in flames.
1 million
Imagine
homes have been evacuated. That's
I mean, you can replace homes, but you can't replace people. And I know I heard a report that they found some bodies, and it's kind of depressing. So I don't know if I want to talk about that too much.
wow. It looks like a lot of them are in the largest emergency shelter, which is at San Diego's Qualcomm.
The San Diego Stadium.
Yeah. They have. Let me see. It at one time housed and fed more than 10,000 people. That's wild. You got George Bush talking to Schwarzenegger like they're actually gonna figure some stuff out down there. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah, I don't know what's going on either. We got a caller here. This is Nick. He's out in Amherst. Nick, you there?
Basically, I just wanted to put my opinion into like how Bush is reacting to this event here happening in California with people being, scared away from their homes due to the fires and the immediate threat. I just wanted to vent here because there's a relationship between this event, burning of houses and land, and Katrina. I don't know if you guys have seen the documentary involving that hurricane.
Oh, man, I tell you what.
I find it interesting that now he's reacting so quickly. Honestly, it's been a couple days now.
Yep.
And he's already going there. He's already visiting the place.
A lot faster than he went to New Orleans.
Danger and saying, okay, well, these are the steps we have to take. These are the steps to get, the American people back on the feet. And, I mean, in connection to Katrina, months went by.
Yeah.
Like months. And finally, when he decides to do anything about it, he doesn't even show up. He sends the wrong people. He doesn't even send, the correct amount of supplies.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to vent here on that situation. But at least he's improving, and that's a good thing. That's what I had to say about that.
Hey, you know what? I agree with you, Nick. And it's funny because there have been a lot of documentaries and stuff on Katrina and just how ill-supported the victims of Katrina were. And I really think that obviously there's some racism going on there, not to use that word so loudly on the air, but I do also have some feelings against what happened with Blackwater. Have you ever heard of Blackwater USA?
It sounds actually, you know what? That sounds like that group that was in Iraq that caused some sort of violence.
Yeah, well, they're still in Iraq.
Iraq wanted them to leave.
Blackwater is actually a private contracting group that's made up of ex-Navy SEALs, ex-Special Ops guys, and they get paid huge sums of money by our government as private contractors. So let me ask you a question. I mean, if we can't draft people from the country to go fight this war in Iraq, how much easier would it be for the government to just use a bunch of money that'll end up putting us in more debt, use a bunch of money to pay these contractors to go into Iraq and just do all sorts of stuff? They're not under the Geneva Convention laws, these contractors. They can pretty much do what they want. And I heard that when they were in Katrina, their main purpose in this victimized place of this hurricane, their main purpose was to arrest looters and detain looters. And you have all these news articles. They did like a comparison of news articles. You have this white woman who's got bread and she's got cans and some shoes. She's running out of a market, and look, this white woman is she's stealing what she needs to go back and save her kids from whatever. And then you have this black individual who's doing the same thing with the same products, and he's looting like a criminal. That's what the headlines read, and it was wild. I mean, what do you think about that, Nick?
I think that because they were looking at the Katrina situation as a population primarily of African Americans, a lot of the negativity going around was focused on these people. It is upsetting that people would think, okay, so a non-African American is taking from this place, whereas an African American taking from this place, that's something to focus on. That's extremely upsetting.
It is. Not to mention these Blackwater guys had helicopters and supplies, but they were using the helicopters to literally fly criminals out and detain them into prisons, which obviously makes money for the government somehow through your pocket.
Right, and the Blackwater organization it's obviously messing up. I mean, especially currently in Iraq with their shenanigans involving killing innocent people and then lying about it, saying that they're being fired upon. Clearly weren't.
Yeah.
I just think that this government-funded organization it's causing a lot of problems for people. And it comes to a point when they're involved with international events that it really has Blackwater out in the spotlight, and people really get to see Blackwater as this organization that really isn't functioning correctly, and they really need to put in the effort to make it a better organization.
How easy would it be, Nick, to have an area in Iraq that is essentially void of insurgents, which I mean void of the enemies of America, I guess, if I could say that loosely. How easy would it be to have those contractors go in there and create problems so that our actual, government's army can go in and, I guess, clean up these supposed problems? I mean, it's such an easy military move. Even if I was playing the game Risk, I mean, it's like classic. You go in and upset it with some contractor, and then you take your army and go in and clean everything up.
Right, and I think that has a lot to do with the government looking for reasons to stay in Iraq.
Yeah.
And the news are really trying to highlight, quote, terrorist activity, but it's really not terrorist activity. It's just it's a foreign entity causing disruption within the society there.
Yep.
And
wait, Nick, we're not causing disruption. Aren't we trying to help them create democracy like we have here? We have such a good democracy here.
See, and that's a great point, because honestly, you really can't have a country and then try and force a democracy on them.
Isn't that a contradiction? You're right. It's a paradox.
It's an extreme paradox, and in fact, I think that we shouldn't have gone there in the first place, only because a country needs to battle out their problems alone by themselves. And obviously, the only reason, the absolute reason, the primary reason why we actually went to Iraq was just because of profit, and that's it.
Yep. You know what? If I could be a little conspiratory for a moment, the day of September 11, George Bush Sr. was actually meeting with members from the bin Laden family to discuss endeavors with a group called the Carlyle Group, which is a manufacturing agency. Obviously, we know that Dick Cheney was involved with Halliburton, which runs the pipes for the oil. And obviously, we understand that well, maybe some of us don't, but we understand that a lot of funding for most of these Al-Qaeda groups and the Mujahideen, a lot of that funding was funneled through Pakistan and the ISI. But no, we're looking at Iran because supposedly they're culturing their uranium. But Pakistan and the ISI has been carrying out known terrorist acts for years, and they've helped us basically run coups. The Mujahideen we paid for through the CIA to essentially help us get the Soviets out of Kuwait, so that during the Cold War, the Soviets didn't have the ability to take over the Middle East, which is what we're doing now.
And it's amazing too, because I mean it's what people will do for money. That's what it comes down to. And it's not just individual people; it's huge nations.
Yeah,
and when we're talking about nations, I mean, the true evil of human really stands out.
That's what it is, Nick, because this money is an illusion. It doesn't really exist like we think it does. It's basically all credit. It's all debt. And what it does is it makes people fear not participating in this capitalism because they'll get arrested because they won't be able to pay their bills. And the funny thing is, this money that's so moved around, it ends up actually tying into actual resources around the world. And you put your money in the stock market, and then this happens and that happens. Next thing we know, huge amounts of land are cut down, resources are pushed. And what do we have? We have an advanced society, or do we have a bunch of blind individuals leading us into whatever grim future?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. A lot of our people are blind to see that, it's a fend for yourself kind of mentality where you have to make as much as you can to, quote, survive. But in the meantime, you're being backed by this higher structure that really doesn't really care about you, but cares about the existence of itself. So, in fact, they're, willing to do whatever it takes to just stay existing. And when talking about that, you really come across, deaths, wars, plagues, whatever it may be.
Wow, you know what, Nick? I really appreciate your input. We're going to switch topics here. Thanks for calling us, man. Feel free to call again whenever.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Nick. Wow, Nick was pretty passionate, huh, Craig?
Participation has been great tonight. I appreciate that from everybody.
It has. If anyone else wants to call, don't forget, lines are open for whatever topics you want to push us into. For now, we're going to play some music. Do you have any tunes in there?
This song is going to be called Taught to be Proud.
Taught to be Proud. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's a good song. Enjoy.
I was taught to be proud of where I come from, and I'm so sad that I'm the only one. Like a cold preacher boy talking only to himself. How did he think that he got to promised land? Sometimes I'm confused and I don't know where I'm going. Mistaken gentle rivers for that cold wind to blowing, and I'm always sure of an angel when she gets here, but I never see her coming, and I miss her when she disappears. Gone, 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 not gone for long. If you're taught to be proud of where you come from. Gone, 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 not gone for long. If you're taught to be proud of where you come from. It's hard to be cool when you're playing for the profits. They really know it if you got it or you lost it. Now I'll sing the song, but I don't know where it came from. Reminds me of a mountainside to stand upon and gently hum. Gone, 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 not gone for long. If you're taught to be proud of where you come from. Gone, 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 not gone for long. If you're taught to be proud of where you come from. Sometimes I'm confused, I don't know where I'm going. Mistaken gentle rivers for that cold wind of blowing, and I'm always sure of an angel when she gets here, but I never see it coming, and I miss her when she disappears. Gone, 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 not gone for long. If you're taught to be proud of where you come from. Gone, 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 not gone for long. If you're taught
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that song, Taught to Be Proud, Tea Leaf Green.
Tea Leaf Green's good.
That's what
We
we've
got
been
the
doing.
CD and then all this other music. I was just reading this here. We have an all-new high of the oil. I mean, what are we doing down there if we're not making oil cheaper for us? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like every morning I do a show here, Money Matters, and our host announces what crude oil, what barrels go up, and I think this morning he said it was at $92 a barrel.
92, man, on a weak dollar.
And that, I think when I first started here, it was about 50.
Wow.
And
Which was what, a few months ago?
Yeah, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And I don't understand, as the barrels go up, I guess I'm not seeing the change necessarily in the gas prices. They're not going up rapidly like they were. They're kind of staying around the same place. But what does that mean if the price for the barrel is going up, but our consumption is the same and everything's the same? I don't know. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, these gas prices are one thing because the oil goes through all these refining processes, and obviously, who does that? The big people: ExxonMobil, British Petroleum, and Royal Dutch Shell is actually the name of the companies. And those three companies
own everything.
Yeah, they got the bid on this Iraq oil. And it's funny because there's some sort of an explanation like if Iraq had the ability to siphon all that oil, then their economy would bust. So they had to sell, a huge amount of it to these three companies in order to stimulate their economy. But I see foul play, if I've ever heard of it, because the heads of those three businesses, huge major oil corporations, met with Cheney, and there's all these different energy conferences, and in the end they end up getting a contract for Iraq's
There's just so much
oil.
money being thrown around between
So
all those
much.
people, and the CEOs of those companies are making billions of dollars, and it's like
off the top.
Yeah, they're paying less income tax because they're they make so much money, and it's all invested in all this stuff, and they don't, school teachers are paying more tax than Bill Gates.
Yeah.
And he's paying 15%, and the school teacher at Needham High is making paying 15% too. Manny Ramirez is paying 50%, 15%, and he's making a couple million a year. And it's crazy how our world works and our government's set up, and it's completely back asswards.
But isn't it beautiful because we're here, and despite all this confusion and the clear control of a few rich men, we are so filled with love and so filled with creativity. They could never stop us, man.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Is to talk about the topical issues, and we're trying to. I know we're not the only ones that feel like this out there, and we've had some good callers tonight talking with us.
Oh, that was great. I'll tell you,
we like that.
I remember a fact. I think it was from like in between 1910 and 1930, but there was a tax cut by these reformers. And you know what the tax cut did? It took taxes for lower class from 4% to 3%. Okay, so that's a tax cut.
Yeah.
But for the upper class, all right, the richest bracket, it went from 50% to 25%, which is interesting because the person who controlled the treasury, his last name was Mellon, okay? This guy who was pushing, he was pushing this act. This act saved him $800,000 a year back in like the 20s, which is crazy.
That's a lot of money, even now. But back then, that's astronomical.
Give me a break. That's astronomical. That's just wild. We're gonna take a little break soon. Yeah, we're gonna take a little break soon because we have to basically. What do they play some spots?
Yeah, we're gonna do some IDs, some legal stuff for the station here. So
yep. So we'll be back after that, guys. So
the WBNW Weatherbug Weather Center. For tonight, we'll see mostly clear skies, low 46. For tomorrow, a slight chance of rain after 3 p.m. It'll be partly cloudy with a high near 59. We'll have an east wind up to 14 miles per hour. For tomorrow night, periods of rain mainly between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. We'll have some patchy fog with a low of 52. On Saturday, a chance of showers. Then showers likely, maybe a thunderstorm throughout the afternoon. We'll have some patchy fog, otherwise mostly cloudy, high near 72. On Sunday, we'll have sunny skies, high near 61. Sunny on Monday, high 54. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, high again 54. I'm Cindy Bucci for the station everyone's talking about, WBNW 1120 AM.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Craig, and Charles is with us here on the No Boundaries radio show here at 11:20 a.m. WBNW and 1390 Plymouth. Can't forget about all our listeners down south. So, Jazz, we had a pretty interesting first half here.
Oh, that was great, man. That was like an orgy of inspiration there, if that can be said.
Orgy of inspiration.
I'd also like to say that
our
little intro that we created that's pretty much awesome that Craig put together is Curtis Mayfield's Pusherman, just so everyone knows that, which is an awesome song because, whatever he's talking about, I can't really say I care, but we're talking about truth. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about the ability to speak and say what needs to be said and not have someone smack you in the head with a club.
Yeah, no boundaries. That was the whole point of our show, is we don't have anybody holding us down, telling us what we can't talk about. And that's what the show's all about. If anybody wants to call in, anybody wants to request a song, wants to hear a song, let us know. If you want to talk about a topic, anything. Our phone number here, 888-205-2263.
So, Craig, what exactly are you going to be for Halloween, brother?
I don't know. I guess I kind of made the decision to be already, Fred Flintstone, but
okay.
I'm open to suggestions.
You're open to suggestions? All right.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't know what to suggest for you. I mean, you could be like a radio show talk host.
Yeah, I guess that's I'm putting on that mask right now, technically.
And it looks scary, folks. You got to see this. It's
faces for radio, folks. That's why we're on mics here, and you can't see us in person.
That's true. That's true. But he's lying. He's actually quite a handsome gent.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think I have this blonde wig that I bought for $50.
Yeah.
All right. It's really great. It looks like I'm some sort of a Norwegian man or some European type.
Like
but
Wayne from Wayne's World? Or Garth, I should say.
No. It's a wig that kind of comes up and goes up, and it's slick. It's got sideburns and it goes up. I look like a ski bum who's like really rich or something. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have like really nice clothes on and wear some really nice sunglasses and have that, and I'm going to try to.
Sounds pretty interesting.
Well, I'm gonna try to sell people Ferraris or something, because that's a scary dude. A Norwegian, a rich ski bum Ferrari salesman.
Yeah, that's kind of. Did you come up with that yourself?
No, actually,
just right now.
It hit me in a dream actually one night.
Oh, that's where the best stuff comes from. Best stuff comes from dreams.
I had been watching the Flintstones before I dozed off, and for some reason that just
fitting.
Yeah, it was very fitting. Unlike the Flintstones sandals or their. How do they run their cars? Oh,
yeah, with their feet.
They walk. That's right. I wish we had that sound clip.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I'll work on that. We'll get some clips going here.
Nice.
This is about the only one I got right now.
That's a good clip. What is that? Is that
some bubbles?
What kind? Okay, that's just bubbles.
I don't know. It's fun.
Well, let's see. Let's talk about some more news here.
What do you got?
What I got? Let's see here. It's all the same stuff. This is good. Monkeys. Apes teeter on the brink of extinction. Okay, mankind's closest relatives are teetering on the brink of their first extinctions in more than a century. Wow, what do you think about that, man?
I don't know. That's crazy.
That is crazy because guess what? If they die, we will never know. In the future, 100 years or something, because people will never know what their direct genetic relative looks like. They'll have like these books on it, like the dodo bird, but I don't know. That's kind of weird, but some people don't believe in that, and you get arrested for teaching it. Volkswagen.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, they survived. The
German car company.
Yeah, they survived. Restates record sales target on results from China and South America. Okay, the giant Volkswagen German auto dealership strong third quarter results Friday and restated a record full-year sales target as Chinese and South America growth offsets slumping turnover at home. What does that mean?
I don't know. I was just going to ask you the same thing. What the hell are they talking about?
I think basically what they're saying is they're targeting the Chinese market and South American market, like Volkswagen doesn't. Actually, they probably don't sell too many things in China as compared to...
Well, they've obviously done good here if they're, third quarter profits are up?
Yeah, well, they're strong. They're strong.
Strong. Okay, that's a very see-through word there.
Yeah, I see right through strong. Nearly 1/3 of primates in peril. Oh, that's the same thing. But this is different. This is a world conservation body assembled to help. So there's people getting together and they're trying to help this thing. The monkey. Yeah, look, $92 in New York. Wow. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. What do you got? What else you got over there?
Of course, Britney Spears has a custody case that's going back to court.
Yeah, I've heard about that. What's going on with her? Not that I really want to talk about her, but
hey, listen, man. Despite what people say, I enjoy talking about her because it is her that represents, she's like the mascot of America, Britney Spears, and it just goes to show.
The corporate America, I guess you could say.
What other America can you see from a million TVs? You know what I mean?
True.
Hollywood's highest profile custody case between her and, Kevin Federline, which who's a joke, right? Isn't that guy? They're coming to get him. No, they're coming to get Britney, I think.
Yeah, they're taking it away.
They're taking her away. I think she's going to lose.
You think so?
I think she'll lose.
I think she's just in the media so much, everybody already knows everything about her. She's obviously done drugs and messed up with her kids, so I don't think it would be bad if he necessarily got the kids,
Because obviously he has a booming career now and he's making all sorts of money.
Just because he's Britney's boyfriend, I guess.
Hey, you know what? If you were Britney's girlfriend, you'd be famous too. So don't hate on K-Fed, okay?
K-Fed, I don't know. Yeah, he's doing those Burger King commercials.
I'm pretty sure K-Fed is an ex-CIA agent.
What? I don't know about that.
I think they pushed him in there. The Red Sox are making me really happy. Not because I enjoy watching the games, as much as I'd love being at the game, but essentially when a nation comes together, like the Red Sox nation, because it truly is a nation.
What do you think about Red Sox nation? Do you think it's like a marketing ploy? I don't know if it's because obviously I don't know of any other baseball team that has a nation of baseball fans. I only in Boston, I guess you could say that we have a pretty crazy sports town right now.
Well, how many states do we draw our fans from? And I'm not saying you have to be living where your team is to be a fan, but
true.
How many states is sort of the Boston Red Sox?
Oh, I'm sure a lot. I know when they travel to Florida, there's a lot more Red Sox fans down there than necessarily the Tampa Bay fans that the Red Sox play.
Yeah.
And
who would want to be a Tampa Bay fan?
Yeah, and it's all people that have moved, I guess not all people, but people that have moved down from up here, they're retiring, they're going to the Red Sox game, enjoying their life. There's Red Sox fans everywhere. It's crazy.
It is crazy. I do think they're a nation, because...
Yeah, it is. It is a nation.
Because when you can have a team and essentially get behind them, then how easy would it be to divert all your attention to the team? And Red Sox are the nastiest team, so everyone kind of focuses on them. And if you don't, you're kind of you're not a member. So it's almost like some sort of a peer societal pressure.
Yeah, it's like it's a club kind of, It's like being in a fraternity. You're part of something that's bigger than even Red Sox Nation. The Red Sox are bigger than all of that.
Yeah,
and they've certainly marketed the heck out of it, and it's turned into a huge thing. They had a vote for presidency of Red Sox Nation, which I thought was kind of ridiculous myself.
Really?
Yeah, Jerry Remy. Jerry Remy. He does the commentary. They had a bunch of different people that ran as candidates as to be the biggest Red Sox fan, and they would be elected president of the Red Sox Nation. I don't know if anybody won. I really don't care, but I think it's unnecessary to do that. But they're making this entity out of something that's not really even there, and I don't know. I guess it's just belonging.
I can't. Well, yeah, it's belonging. I mean, it's good that we can still connect like that, though. It's just so sad to see it run.
We need something to get behind. We don't have a government that's, if the government was leading our nation like the Red Sox are, they're the best of what they do, and I don't think that our nation is the best at what we do at all. We have a lot of flaws and we have a lot of stuff going on. How you doing over there, Chaz?
You know what, man? I got internet now, and I'm on. Not to bring it back to where I love to bring it, but I'm going to. I'm on govtracks.us.
Yeah.
And if you guys go to govtracks.us, you can see all the bills that pass the House, pass the Senate, and try to go through and make them into, actual bills.
Is this like what was Bush just vetoed something, right?
Well, we know he's trying to veto the whole health insurance thing. But what this is something a little more important that people should know. This is called HR 1955, which is the name of the bill, because the bills all have this little code number. And it's called the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act of 2007. So this is the latest Bush administration change in the way our country's written, the laws that are written. And it's interesting because they're defining homegrown terrorism as the use, planned use, or threatened use, of force or violence by a group or individual born, raised, or based and operating primarily within the United States or any possession of the United States, to intimidate or coerce the United States government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof in furtherance of political or social objectives. So basically, it basically says, you can't use violence to coerce people for social objectives. That's such an interesting situation, because there have been times in the past where men who did care about this country used some sort of violence to fight against different forces, I could say, and they changed the way the country was for the better. And it seems like this act, just like the Patriot Act, is just another way to basically stop us from organizing in the name of change and doing all sorts of things. I don't know. What do you think of that, man?
I don't know about that, but I have something that I came across that we should definitely talk about.
What do you have?
It's FEMA workers masquerade as reporters.
Yeah, Federal Emergency Management Agency.
They faked the press conferences about the victims of the wildfires in Southern California.
Wow.
It says that the agency, which they've been, bad because of Hurricane Katrina and stuff like that.
Yeah, so many
They already
things.
have a bad name.
And they were in New York on 9/11 before.
The FEMA employees played the part of independent reporters and asked questions of Vice Administrator Harvey E. Johnson, who's the director, and they were soft questions. They were, they weren't questions that people were looking to find. He says, I'm very happy with FEMA's response, and it's just not. How is that?
There was other sketchiness going on with
that?
them too.
How are you gonna? How can you do that? I don't understand how you can fake that stuff on such a serious note and try and sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Is exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make it not as bad as it really is.
Yeah, because what are they going to do? Take FEMA away? They
obviously
spent
not.
so much money on that. The Homeland Security Act. It's just sad that
it just shows that how our government is running stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We're not like the government's silly because there's no one we can really point to and blame on. It's pretty much like either all of them or none of them, and just the systems themselves. But as you can see, we have Bush vetoing this health insurance act right in your face. But the real stuff, like the act that stops you from organizing groups to try to use force to coerce populations' beliefs, that's like, isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, he even says, he even kind of admitted it. It says, their goal was to get information out as soon as possible, and in trying to do so, we made an error in judgment.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
It's like sugarcoating it again, an error in judgment, guys. There's people dying, people losing their houses, just land being torched, and you made an error in judgment.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I forgive you.
I'll tell you right now, it's probably a good time to, if anyone still cares about voting and thinks about voting, I'd like to invite you to go online and do the research yourself, but look up Ron Paul, because have you ever heard of Ron Paul?
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't. I have to admit, I haven't done much research. As part of America who doesn't do enough to educate themselves, I'd have to
you're one
play
of them.
guilty on that one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't blame you, man, because a lot of people think that the voting doesn't matter, and then the people are all saying the same stuff out just different sides of their mouth. But if you look at Ron Paul, who's a Republican, but he's a true Republican. He's the kind of Republican that didn't like how the Democrats used slaves. That old school type Republican. The new Republicans are neocons. They're out of their mind. But if you look him up, he talks openly about the Federal Reserve System, how it's the greatest crime that's ever been committed, and he needs to pull us back from it. He talks openly about all the stuff that you'd call conspiracy, but he's been a senator for years, and he's actually winning. He just beat Thompson and Huckabee in a New Hampshire poll. Obviously New Hampshire, but
well, New Hampshire's a big part, though. That's where everybody starts. Everybody goes to New Hampshire first.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Giuliani and how he supported the Red Sox?
I don't know, man.
This big, New York mayor who did everything for 9/11. He comes into Massachusetts and says that he's rooting for the Red Sox in the World Series, and that he's not saying that because he's in Massachusetts. He's just he's rooting for the American League. And if as an avid Red Sox fan, anybody from New York that does something like that is asking for it in my mind.
Yeah, he's sketchy.
He just completely, he's I don't like to use the term flip-flopper, but he just said that to, he's just trying to get votes.
Obviously, you know what it is?
It's so obvious.
It's his
so
advisor.
blatantly obvious what he's doing.
One of his top advisors used to work for Nixon, and obviously he didn't advise Nixon very well because
he's like, you should probably mention that you're supporting the Red Sox.
Yes, that's an excellent idea. I did help everyone on 9/11. Blah 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 blah.
That's all he talks about, though. Yeah, I know. He did a great job with that.
No, he didn't, dude. That's
what
bull.
People say.
Yeah, you look at what the real firemen are saying that live in New York. They don't like Giuliani. Real firemen who are there, real families who are actually part of the 9/11 Truth movement and all stuff like that. They don't care about Giuliani because he, supposedly he actually didn't get some radio transmitting, mechanisms. He didn't get them fixed, and they ended up stopping the firemen from being able to connect into the policemen and basically hear that they were supposed to leave the building. So all these police got out of the buildings, and all the firemen were just like kept in there, and that's kind of
had no communication or anything.
Nothing.
There was just a lot of sketchy stuff that went on that day that it doesn't, there's not a lot of answers for it necessarily.
Yeah, well, there aren't a lot of answers. In the 9/11 commission that came out, I mean, if you look at who ran the commission, it's like top guys, top lawyers and whatnot to the administration, and it's just such a sketchy situation. But you have families, and I'll give a lot of love to those families, especially the people that have lost someone, but they're actually still working hard, creating these different movements because there's some serious stuff going on.
But we're trying to talk about stuff that is affecting us.
Yeah.
And
when I get time to just talk and rant, I always end up moving back towards the political stuff because it's just so obvious. You know what I mean? It's just so obvious. What do we have here? Astronauts? I like this. I like how we're in space.
I think space is,
Dude,
it's the next generation, if you will.
They go up there, they break something, they fix it, and then someone comes back
and then go back up and fix it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, seriously, are they measuring something out there?
I bet they're spending a heck of a lot of money to do stuff like that.
Yeah, they are. I think they are too.
And I don't, if it's not helping us,
Oh, they're installing some
kind of satellite to stare at us.
A new room. It's called the Italian-built. It's called the Harmony node. Of course, it's Italian-built. I'm Italian, and I know that Italians for years have been the builders. I remember my father once told me something about my grandfather. They said that they told him that the streets in America were paved with gold, and then he got here and he found out that he had to work to pave them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And he wasn't getting gold for it. This is interesting. The gateway to space station. To the space station's future reaches orbit. Okay, I don't know what that means, but the U.S. Harmony connecting module, also known as the Node 2, has been deemed such a gateway because it is crucial for future expansion of international space. Okay, so what this thing does is it pushes the bounds of the space station to a point where it doesn't interrupt where the solar panels are, and it allows them future connection of a much bigger part of the space station. So I could see this thing in 20 years being like a huge, I don't know, maybe a bunch of rich people are going to go out there and let one off. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does sound crazy, but I couldn't imagine why we're trying to create a big station in space. I don't see what that helps us with.
They got to have some kind of plan. I hope they're not just going up there and building stuff for no reason. There's got to be a plan for something.
I'd love someone to call in and tell me what the hell NASA's doing out there in space. Just come on and just
somebody
say,
from NASA, please call and explain it to me. All right, well, we're gonna take a little break. We'll be right back. Here's some stuff for you to listen to, I guess. Here we go.
The WBNW WeatherBug Weather Center. For tonight, we'll see mostly clear skies, low 46. For tomorrow, a slight chance of rain after 3 p.m. It'll be partly cloudy with a high near 59. We'll have an east wind up to 14 miles per hour. For tomorrow night, periods of rain mainly between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. We'll have some patchy fog with a low of 52. On Saturday, a chance of showers, then showers likely, maybe a thunderstorm throughout the afternoon. We'll have some patchy fog, otherwise mostly cloudy, high near 72. On Sunday, we'll have sunny skies, high near 61. Sunny on Monday, high 54. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, high again 54. I'm Cindy Bucci for the station everyone's talking about, WBNW 1120 AM.
And we're back here, No Boundaries Radio Show with Craig and Chaz, and we're just chatting, talking about whatever we got here. I got some info if any Led Zeppelin fans out there.
What are they doing?
Led Zeppelin going digital next month. Their back catalog will be available for music stores starting November 13th.
The back, what's that mean?
I'm guessing that's all the stuff that they didn't release. I'm guessing, back catalog. I think that's what that means, which I would love to hear. I know Zeppelin is a great band. I think they're actually playing a show in London. If anybody has the money to go out there, but I think Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, Jason Bonham, and I'm not sure who's playing bass, but it's going to be pretty close to the old, the original Led Zeppelin. So if you got the money to fly out to London, you can go see them. What do you want to play?
This is going to be Morphine. The song's called Buena. I really like this song.
That's a good song. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. We'll be back, guys, after this song.
I hear a voice from the back of the room. I hear a voice cry out, you want something good. Well, come on a little closer, let me see your face. Yeah, come on a little closer by the front of the stage. Say, come on a little closer, I got something to say. Yeah, come on a little closer, wanna see your face. You see, I met a devil named Buena Buena, and since I met the devil, I've been the same. Oh no, and I feel alright now, I have to tell you, I think it's time for me to finally introduce you to the Buena 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 good. I know some people want to make you change. Well, I know how to make it go away.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a little song by Morphine called Buena. Didn't play the whole thing, but that saxophone part is the best.
It's an interesting band. They play with all, kind of, what is that? It's like...
It's an interesting sound, man,
tuba,
I'll tell you.
Some bass maybe, and some drums.
Well, yeah, they got a baritone sax. The bassist is just raw. But that guy died on stage of a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah, I guess he just ripped it too hard. His heart couldn't handle it, which is unfortunate.
What a way to go, huh?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the No Boundaries radio show. Every Friday night right now, 7 to 9. We can go later depending on how we're feeling. It's getting late. Got a long day.
Yeah.
Long day.
I want to thank everyone that's out there listening in Radio Land.
Radio Land, yeah, in the radio. Completely open forum, directed only through the subtle influence of music. I love that. That sounds so nice.
Nice flow.
It has a nice flow to it. Did you want to go over the concerts that are coming up for people?
Yeah, let me look here for 1 second.
You do so well at that. Last time you did that, it was very. I mean, you said 2 concerts that I'm going to go to. What was? Do you even remember? It was Butler Trio, right?
Yeah, John Butler. Yeah.
And there was one more. I think it was Galactic.
Yep, Galactic. They were playing at. Let's see what we got here. Tragically Hip. You know them, right?
Tragically Hip. Yep.
Yeah, they're playing at
That's
the Orpheum. That's tomorrow night, Saturday night. Rat Dog. I've seen them. They're playing Hampton Beach. Let's see.
Yeah, they're okay, man. I'll tell
Yeah.
you. You know,
They're
I think
alright.
the Dead was nasty in their time, but I don't
Yeah,
think I'd go see
trying
Ragdog
they're just
again.
trying to drag it out. They just play
Dude,
old
you know,
Dead songs
make
for
room,
hours.
Yeah, make room for the new artists.
Yep. Van Halen, I'm sure, is sold out. That's Tuesday night, the 30th, at the Garden in Boston.
That's another one, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
the David Lee Roth coming back. I don't know how good he's gonna be.
yeah, with half the creativity,
Yeah.
half the brain cells.
Yeah,
before.
exactly. I don't know about that. I'll be interested to hear from some people on how that show went. Also Tuesday night, Australian Pink Floyd show. If you haven't seen them, I highly suggest you get the tickets to that. Agganis Arena, the BU Arena. Dead on, just like Pink Floyd.
We should go see that
Yeah,
band.
you should see that. I've seen them twice.
No, you should see it.
I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it twice.
You haven't seen it.
I should see it.
You
I think
should.
me and my roommate would probably like that.
I know.
We saw,
I know. Mike would love it because they play all of Dark Side of the Moon for the
Nice.
first half. And
Really?
then the second half of the show, they play just greatest hits.
Wow, that's great, man.
It's either Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here. They kind of switch it up. They go back and forth, but they're incredible. I have to say, they're definitely incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take note of that.
Bill Cosby.
What about
Bill
him?
Cosby is going to be, I guess, doing stand up.
No way.
In Kingston, Rhode Island, on Saturday the 3rd of November. That could be interesting. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard his stand up. I don't know if it even is stand up. I'm guessing it
dude,
is.
his stand-up's hysterical.
He's a funny guy. He definitely is.
I've
Blues
seen-
Traveler. Have you ever seen them?
No, I haven't, but
I think
used
that
to
would be a
love
good
that
show
guy.
to go. Monday night, the 5th of November at the Paradise in Boston.
Yep.
Definitely, I would love to go see them. I think they'd be a great band. I know they're a great band. I've heard from people that have.
Well, he
have
got his
been to the
stomach
show.
stapled, didn't he?
Yeah, he was really big. I think the last time I saw him, he was really small.
Now, do you think being big like that increased his ability to breathe in the way that's positive? For,
I think him losing the weight helped him.
You think he's
I
got
think
that
so.
extra space now?
Well, he couldn't breathe as much. You know, you have all that weight constricting your chest. But he was still. I don't know how he pulled it off. I'm sure there was some nights where he played and he was a little lightheaded after that.
You know, that freaks me out, man, because I couldn't imagine getting such an invasive surgery and waking up with all this difference. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a little much for me to handle. I think. I don't know.
That's intense.
It's very intense. The Cult.
The Cult
is playing. I don't know if there's any Cult fans out there.
Oh, dude, the Cults were nasty.
Hampton Beach Casino. You got any Cult over there? You got
B-52 Baby.
Firewoman.
I don't think I do have the Cult.
I'd like to hear that song.
Oh my God, I don't know if I do. I'll look though while you're doing that.
If not, no big deal. Yeah, John Butler. He's playing Sunday the 11th of November at the Orpheum. I think I'll definitely be there.
Really, you going to that?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things from close sources that have seen him numerous times. They said that he's very good.
Well, let me know, bro. I might come to that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's still like 2 weeks away. 2 Sundays from now.
I do have some Cult. We should play the Cult at the end of this show.
Yeah, whatever. If you got something, we got about 20 minutes left of the show here.
Yeah.
The Police. If anybody missed them at Fenway, they're playing at the Garden, same night as John Butler. I will probably be at John Butler. I'm gonna hand it over to you, Chaz. We got a caller calling in.
We
right
got a
now.
call. Cool. I'm actually on BBC News. I like BBC because actually India has a really great news sort of website. I mean, obviously it's a website, but it's a lot different than ours. I remember a lot of the stuff that I read dealing with the 9/11 situation, most of the articles came out of India because they have a different press there. It doesn't work quite like ours. It's not controlled by so few people as ours is. Let me see here. I want to see if I can find the website for that particular place. Yeah, the Times of India. Great, man. I've never seen such a good portrayal. Let me see here. We've got but I see most of it I don't understand. First thing we have here, we have actor Dev Anand, okay? So that's obviously some Indian actor that I don't recognize, with US presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton on her 60th birthday in New York. On Thursday, as Indian-American businessmen chant Chatwal looks on. Or Sant Chatwal. Oh, no one's chanting at all. But apparently at her birthday party were quite a few of famous Indian actors. I don't know one Indian actor. I know Bollywood is probably one of the biggest markets for movies and acting that there is, I guess. But it's kind of crazy. They have like the craziest output of movies. Who was that?
I don't know what that was. It was some crazy people messing with me.
Really? They're just messing with you?
Yeah, they wanted to beatbox on the air. I don't think I'm gonna let them do that.
Beatbox?
Though. Yeah, that was a little much for me.
I don't know, man. Maybe a short one. Hey.
Well, we'll see if they call back.
Let's see. Yeah, call back. Whoever that was, call back. We're gonna let you beatbox for 2 seconds, though.
Yeah,
but it's
gonna
be good.
If it's terrible, you're getting cut right off.
That's what I'm saying. I might put a little rhyme to it. Craig might do a little bass line. But if you have the guts, call back. Beatboxer, mysterious beatboxer man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was talking to them about the Times of India website because India has some. Oh, they're calling back. Yeah, let's get them on here.
Let's see who it is.
We need some input. We're feeling lonely in here in the studio, even though we have so many people out there listening right now. Who do we got? Same person? Yeah, they're ready. Okay, they're prepared. Put them on. I don't want you to beatbox just yet, though. I want you to come on and talk for a second. We can't have mysterious beatboxers.
I lost them.
We lost them?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. The audience members are just at the edge of their seat. Mysterious beatboxer. This should be like a classic. This should be like a classic, like weekly thing. We'll have some guy come on and beatbox. Who's that? Did we lose him again?
Are you there, beatboxer?
Oh my God, that sounds so exciting. What's your name, mysterious beatboxer?
Yeah, you can just call me beatbox to the max. You can call me Sparkle Dust.
Sparkle Dust?
Sparkle Dust.
Oh my God, that sounds excellent. All right, we're ready to hear you beatbox.
You haven't, where are you calling from,
You
beatboxer?
put some short rhymes on top. Here we go now. You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Go ahead.
You're coming out, short.
Ladies and gentlemen, this in no way. I'm gonna have to say this in no way represents the average skill level of our listeners. Okay, just because you heard that, don't think that the people listening to us are inbred, bubbly.
I don't know if the bubbly is a little bit of the bubbly for themselves.
Yeah, I think they might have had a little bit of the bubbly from the bottle and from the vase. I don't know what that was, but I was hoping that it would be better.
Yeah, I was looking for a little more out of that. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Next time someone comes on the air with a skill, because I open up the air for anyone. That was an explosion.
That was
oh
a big
my goodness!
explosion like that.
They're taking us out over here.
Us
Oh my God, we're not letting them beatbox in the air. No, honestly though, folks, listeners, if you have a skill that can be transmitted through the telephone wires and through the internet, I want you to call in and share it. But it can't be, over-exaggerated nonsense. I can't be living with that.
We got another beatboxer, and I cut him off again. He'll call back again.
Oh my God!
He said he'll beatbox if you rhyme over it, Chaz.
Okay, I mean, was it a different person though?
Yeah, it was a completely different person. I don't know if we should do this or not.
Wow, that's wild. I mean, that might be like oh my goodness! Now they got rifles.
We're under fire here, folks.
What's going on, man? How come they're trying to take us out? Oh, jeez, get down! Watch out, the beatboxers! Yeah, we get the call.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we need some interaction here. Let's get this person on. I'm having so much fun right now. It's kind of ridiculous. I can picture all of you. Who is it?
We got Mike here. He's got a little talent for us, I guess.
Mike,
hey, guys.
Mike, get some beatbox talent. Let's hear
I'm
that.
going to beatbox, but under one condition.
What's the condition, Mike?
The condition is, Charles, you have to rhyme to the beatbox.
Oh, my God. I'll do my best.
Right. Here we go.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see. I'm here with Craig. I don't care whether you listen during the week or choose to listen on Friday, cause the peak is when I speak and when Craig puts his thought inside of the rhymes, and Mike doesn't hide, cause the times of India are real interesting, cause they got some different things that I'm used to. Mike's kinda crazy. I get lazy of this topic, so I cut him off by pointing to my man Craig. Stop it.
Oh boy.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Mike, you know what? You're my biggest supporter,
right.
I think, because that made me look really cool.
All right, buddy.
All right, pal. See you later.
Later, man. Wow, that was wild. That's the caller, Mike. He already called in tonight, but he's
a little round of applause for Chaz and Mike on that one there.
And for you, man. I mean, you supported that whole little. I mean, that was just impromptu.
A little spiel there.
Yeah, that wasn't planned, folks. Okay, what just happened was just art out of nothing. Kind of like how they print the money in this government. That's what we just did with art, baby. Oh, Dracula seems to be here. Oh, you think that's funny, Dracula? Your teeth look a little dirty. Have you seen a dentist lately?
I don't know. He doesn't sound very happy.
Where did he come from? What, that wasn't a laugh? Do you think that was crying?
That was an evil laugh.
Okay. So, all right, evil people who are laughing, you're right. They're upset. They're depressed.
Very.
Their father hated them. Their mother never showed them love. How come Hillary Clinton
got more
smiled?
calls on here.
Oh, my God. Everyone's calling
Let's
in
see who
here.
this is.
I need to make sure that you filter these calls, Craig, okay? I can't just have any loon off the street calling in. This is a powerful radio station, all right? It's got the power to put your voice over millions of people. It's worldwide, folks. I'm sure everyone knows that since we're getting calls off the hook. This person's probably not important, though, because, I don't know. Usually he would tell me if they are. But for some reason, I think Hillary Clinton's smile might be fake. Like before a picture, she put some sort of mouthpiece in that like stretches her skin. I know Bill Clinton has the opposite thing going on. I don't know. I think Bill Clinton's a cool guy. I'd like to hang out with him. I mean, I don't really support his policy, but I don't know. Would you want to hang out with Bill Clinton, bro?
I don't know. I saw Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr. when I went to my girlfriend's graduation.
You've seen them?
They were the keynote speakers at the graduation for UNH this past year.
Why?
Because the president of UNH was formerly in George
formerly
Sr.'s,
known as Prince?
She was in George Sr.'s party
Okay.
when he was in office, and she got the job at UNH, and she was leaving, and they spoke, and it was it was interesting to say the least. I mean, seeing these
speakers,
figures there, the Secret Service that was there was baffling. You know,
Yeah.
every 5 seconds a guy would walk by with an earpiece, and they'd be looking around.
Because people who are in the world are trying to kill those people.
Yeah, and I mean, they had some good stuff to say. Honestly, I liked George Bush Sr. better than Clinton.
Yeah,
his speech. He was very well spoken.
Dude.
He was very way better than his son ever could talk.
Oh, He's a
He
magician.
was right. Yeah, he
with
was
his
right
words.
on. And Bush was more political, talking about his wife and all this blah blah blah.
Bush
blah, blah.
or Clinton.
Clinton, I should
Yeah,
say.
Clinton.
But they were you know,
His
it was interesting to be in that situation myself, because I've never been that close to a president, or let alone two, that have been president, the past 10, 15 years.
Wow.
And it was interesting, but I think I would want to hang out with Clinton.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, regardless of what I think about Clinton and Bush and what they've done to the world,
it ain't cool being no jive turkeys.
Oh, they are jive turkeys. Okay?
Jive turkeys.
When it comes to their politics, they are turkeys that be jive. But what I'm saying is, not only are they strong oratory leaders, they can discuss and debate and speak in almost a magical way, but not Bush. But with Clinton, if I had Clinton next to me, on the vineyard at some dinner or something like that,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, because it would be like a real life situation. It's not you're not interviewing this guy for TV. He's not telling you he'd probably tell you his political views. But
Yeah, I want to hear the dirt on him.
Yeah, I'd want to just sit there and talk to him and see what kind of person he is. He was a great president.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he was better than what we have.
Listen, he was supported the most out of like any president.
But he
at the end
did
of his
some
term.
good stuff for us.
He did do good stuff, but he was a skis ball too. They all are. They all moved all power into the hands of big business slower and slower. But anyways, what I'm basically saying is, no, I don't want to have lunch at all with Bill Clinton. Actually, is what I'm saying.
End of story.
Yeah, I do want to play this song though by the Cult. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the Cult. We're just gonna play a little bit of it, but it's so good. The name of the song.
What song you got?
The name of the song is Peace Dog.
Peace Dog. I like that song.
You know that song?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Let me see if this works.
Yeah, we'll play this song. We're running down to the last 10 minutes of our show here, folks. We want to thank everybody for joining us on this beautiful Friday evening. Friday, October 26th. Here's some Cult for you.
Yeah,
you want to go
80s.
see them? I'll give you the date again after this.
Peace is a dirty word, folks. Wow, that song's awesome, man. Welcome to the 80s. Peace,
That
dog.
sounds great.
Yeah, peace is a dirty word. It used to be our painted bird. Interesting little thing there. We're getting close to the end of the show here, No Boundaries show, with
Wrapping
Craig
up
and
the
Charles.
second installment of many.
Yes, of many. There's going to be some nights in the future we're going to be, have some guests here, and we're going to be involved in some discussions that are just going to have to go later.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just wing it.
No boundaries. But we are going to have a guest next week. I can't say who, but we're going to have a guest.
We'll have some people on joining us.
Yeah,
we'll
we're going to have some people joining us, whether they're professionals or they're just acquaintances that have skills in different thought realms. Oh, my goodness. You know what that was? That
fireworks being shot off.
Yeah, but that was a bottle rocket. Because when I think firework, was it? That's what it
yeah.
said?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this guy has like thousands of songs. Because, we are on the radio. And when you go on the radio, they give you all these sounds that you can just use out of nothing. It's really crazy. What do you got?
I don't know. I just got all this sorts of stuff here. Car peeling out.
He looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I can just mess around.
Everyone would love to have one of those things.
Yeah, you can hold thousands of stuff, songs, clips, anything in there. It's a beautiful thing.
Just remember, guys, tomorrow, Saturday morning, between 6 and 9?
6 to 9.
6 to 9. We got American Jukebox playing classic rock.
Yeah, classics. If you're up that early, you want to listen to him, check him out. His name is Rit Walker. Great show. He's a great guy. He's been in the radio biz a long time.
That name is like on an American Jukebox. Rit Walker.
That's a radio name right there.
No dog, no money, no home. Also, Pat Summerall, if you like sports, Pat Summerall's on from 9 to 10.
Yeah, all you sports junkies out there. Pat Summerall used to do all the football games. He's been around forever.
Yeah,
if you like sports, listen to him.
During the week, you've got Financial Focus on from 8 to 9 with Leo Leiden.
Yeah, if you're a stock guy, anything you want to know about stocks, he's great with that.
And then Money Matters with Barry Armstrong. It's the main show here. That's from 9 to 11. He's really good at what he does. He
knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. We're in his realm right here. This is his place. So
yeah,
he owns this radio station, and more power to him. Thank you very much for the opportunity, I guess, for us to be on the show as well.
Yeah, you guys all thank him too.
He was a big part in that.
Also, from 4 to 6 every weekday, my man, the blackest guy on radio, Scotty McCall Show. Actually just called
The Show with Scotty McCall.
With Scotty McCall, but he's great. You guys listen to him too. And then we'll be on next week between 7 and 9, and you can listen online, obviously, at
Yeah,
Money
I know
Matters
some
Radio.
people have had some problems listening online. We're working on that. If you don't have Real Player, that's the problem right now. You have to download it if your computer doesn't take it.
Which it's free, right?
Yeah, Real Player's free. It might take a few minutes to download. Do it when you're not listening to us. Do it this week or something.
Yeah.
So you have it. But we're working on that. Eventually, you're gonna be able to listen to it no matter what program you have. So we're working on that currently. Don't worry. I know there's people out there that have sent me messages and they can't get online. Yeah, and I appreciate all the people listening out there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next Friday. I'm going to play a song here, if you don't mind, Craig.
Just to take us out. We'll keep it in the background.
To take us out. So make sure you listen next week from 7 to 9 or 7 to 10, depending. And also, folks, we have a Facebook group that I started. It got pretty big pretty quick, but that's, I think, the new sort of profiling, networking website for, I guess, the kids. But go on there, and there's a group, the No Boundaries Radio Show. You can join and figure out different events. Pretty soon, when we get more hectic and more scheduled, we'll have all the events and stuff on there. Who is that?
That was a crazy beatboxer. I don't know. I'm gonna find out who that was.
Yeah, those people. I tell you, last week that woman who called about the sex change, that was pretty interesting.
That was very intense. Whether it was real or not, I think that was a good break-in for us.
It was a good break-in. It's a pretty intense topic. People have to wait years to get an interesting topic like that going on in their show.
Yeah, it was a lot to handle.
Yeah, right.
To say the least.
All right, folks, I'm going to play this song. Good luck to everyone. We'll see you next week, 7 to 9.
Signing off, WBNW 1120 AM, the Money Matters Radio Network. Craig and Charles, the No Boundary Radio Show. Have a good night, everybody.